Okay, guys, this is Nick. I'm finally jumping into this. We're finally addressing the elephant in the room, which has been the discussion going online regarding Thomas Brown and everything like that. And first, I want to start things off with,
Hey, I thought it was all over.
a tweet. I'm going to put it up actually right now. It should be directly over my face. I think we're just at the point now where people just need to accept that Thomas Brown is going to be the offensive play caller regardless. It really honestly doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And again, this is something that I posted earlier. Thomas Brown deserves a chance because he's earned it, not because of his skin color. He deserves it because Frank dropped the ball. Thomas earned his chance, so don't devalue his accomplishments. Yes, he's the third black play caller or offensive play caller. It's either for the Panthers or ever. I don't have specifics on that. I'll find him. But I think that Thomas Brown is absolutely going to be interim, most likely Monday morning. I think that when you saw the press conference today, which I'll have a breakdown of tomorrow, most likely, just because I'm finishing up some homework, I think that so much of this has become he's a black play caller, so now it's going to hurt him because of his skin color. I understand the concerns. I again, wanted Eric Bieniemy, Ben Johnson, Thomas Brown, I don't really care. Evero, I don't care at this point. But he does not need to be elevated because of his skin color. That's all. That's been my sole argument. That's it. Thomas Brown also led a worse offense. I understand there's going to be a bunch of idiots being like, oh, man, you're being scoreboard or whatnot. But honestly, it's part of it. I don't really care what anybody says. You can sit there and bitch and moan just like Whiney Waines and Panthers culture and all the little crybabies out there. But the first game where we actually won, when our defense allowed 13 points. If we had only allowed 13 points, we lose the first game 13-10. That would have been a terrible loss, but it's the first game there. We then win the next game 13-17. Oh, we win the next game 27-13. 13-13 tie against Minnesota. 13-24 win against Detroit. 13-21 Dolphins. I understand that this is a very porous argument and everything like that. All I'm saying is that Thomas Brown got the credit for the win, like I accurately said he would, and that everyone would overreact. I literally put it out. In fact, I'm going to find the tweet and it's going to be up. I should put it up right now. I'm literally going to go second by second and watch just to make sure everything's in here. Because I'm tired of little babies, especially Ricky, somebody that will go out there and run their mouth, then block somebody and then go, oh, I had to get rid of him. He's toxic. The toxic person is the one that blocks people. The toxic one is the one that won't address facts. The toxic one who is just the one that throws their hands up and pretends like they won. And that's exactly what he represents. It's really sad. This fan base has become so torn. I literally got into a thing back and forth with a certain one who literally said goodbye and then said, oh, I'm standing here because you're going to run away. Like the most gaslighty bullshit ever, like little boy energy. And that's what it's constantly been. But I do want to address this. Everyone's like, oh man, yeah, man, it's you, man. You're the one bringing it up. Or it's a dog whistle, like little baby Rain said. Hey, dog whistle. Let's ask this man. Let's talk about this and see how they're going to literally gloss over so many facts. So many. But again, he's going to block me, so who cares? He's just going to bitch out. It's normal. That's what I would expect from him. But here, let's bust it over. Let's hop onto here. I am going to play it, and I'm going to do it just like I did all the breakdowns. We're going to understand, because I love these guys. I think they're good for the most part. But this is where, especially Leezy's really losing me here. Ovies and Giglio also talked about it. Multiple things have brought up, and they always say, oh, it's going to hurt black people. I understand the concern. We need more black play callers because black people represent a much larger portion of not only the player base, but fans. But everybody deserves to be represented. This is a joke. I don't care what color he is, but he does not deserve to be elevated over somebody strictly because of that. I'm sorry, what he put on the field was a subpar offense and was worse than Reich's. People will throw out all these, everything else besides addressing it. And watch, Leezy is going to literally walk into it. He's going to understand what's happening, and then he's going to completely gloss over it. Watch.
Thomas Brown only called 3 games as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
3 games did the play calling.
Yeah.
Frank Reich is taking back over the play calling duties. This is stupid on so many levels.
And don't get me wrong, I 100% agree. I said Frank was most likely protecting him. We obviously have no way to substantiate that or debunk that for that matter. So just suck a dick, all you haters. But since we've gotten here, Thomas Brown has put up 15, 13, and 13. We literally had two games under Frank where we were sub 13. And in fact, one of those games we were 13. 17, 27, 24, and 21. Again, looking at box score, I totally understand it. But the box score still matters because what Leezy is literally going to do is give credit to Thomas Brown for a win where the defense kept them in the game when they shouldn't have been. Like, defense didn't keep you in the game for the Indianapolis game, you lost. Defense kept you in the game for the Chicago one, that's where the offense lost it. I understand the field goal. I understand the concern. And again, I will continue to say, I know Frank is losing his job. I'm not a Frank stan. I just do not hate these ad hominem attacks and these stupid bullshit baby tactics by so many people. If you want to have a debate, hit me up. We could have a debate live on stream. But you're not going to do that. You're going to bitch out like normal. So let's continue. And obviously, I'm not saying these guys are bitching out. I just mean people that are going to be critics and keyboard warriors.
You kind of wonder what is the motivation behind that. Now, I know that there's that whole thing where like there was like 12 quarters.
Oh, so here we go. We're going to address that Thomas Brown had 12 quarters with 2 offensive touchdowns, but let's just gloss over that fact. Let's just gloss over. Did Frank have 12 quarters recently where he only had 2 offensive play calls? Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. So co-parter.
And only 2 offensive touchdowns in those 12 quarters time. And that happened to be under Thomas Brown.
It happened to be under Thomas Brown. Here comes the but. It's going to be a disqualifying thing. It's okay that Thomas Brown did this because we need to give him more slack than everybody else. We're going to treat Thomas Brown differently because of that. Like, this is a joke.
But here's the
but. Keep it going.
When the Carolina Panthers was when Thomas Brown was calling plays.
But again, we're not addressing the personnel, injuries. We're also not addressing the fact that the defense finally showed up. Again, if the defense had put up 13 or only allowed 13 points in multiple games, Frank would have more than one win. So miss me with this stupid bullshit. This is the disqualifying thing when people come into this argument and they're like, man, he needs it because he's the 3rd black coach. No, he needs it because he needs the opportunity because he fucking earned it. Stop devaluing that man. You guys are, I swear, little babies. And again, go block people. That's what you're best at.
And, how can you blame this guy on what's going on or, the lack of offense when he's calling plays for the same offense that Frank Reich has installed that is.
Oh, okay. So here we go. So how can we hold Thomas Brown accountable for the offense, but let's hold Frank Reich accountable for the offense? If it's a collaborative effort, they should both be fired. If it's just one person, I understand. Fire Frank. And like I said, Monday morning, he's most likely going to be sitting at home at his own house, no longer a head coach of the Carolina Panthers. But you're literally giving me the ammunition right here, Leezy. You're literally telling me, oh, it's okay that the offense was bad, that the personnel isn't there and everything. What can we expect Thomas to do? But yet you're taking that same thing and just going, I don't care about this. Frank needs to put up. So which one is it? Why are we not giving the same opportunities to the head coach as we would the OC or the DC for that matter? We need to hold the DC accountable. He gave up 24, 20, 37, 21, 42, and 42. That's what our defense gave up. That's a fact. You guys can argue all you want about it's the scoreboard or whatever, that tired ass argument, but the scoreboard is being used against Frank by saying that Thomas Brown got the win. Meanwhile, it was the defense that showed up. Someplace that I would actually give Evero some credit here. Like, I don't understand the mental gymnastics you need to jump from one and then jump to the other. Thomas Brown earned this because of what he did. He put out a bad offense. That's why he got it taken away from him. Yes, I agree it's poor optics. Yes, I agree it was the wrong decision. I never said that it was the right decision. I just don't know what everybody wants, okay? I'm going to ask you. Super simple. Drop it in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter. It's Roll Coverage Pod on Twitter. What is Frank's option in that moment? So Frank says, you know what? Thomas Brown is going to stay out there, and then we're about to hear Leezy give all the qualifying factors why Thomas Brown can't be held accountable, but yet use those same disqualifying factors against Frank. What was Frank's option? What move could he have made other than the trolley response of he should be fired or quit or step aside or whatever it may be? Give me a real quantifiable answer. He goes up to that podium and says, what? What could he have said that would have not angered everybody? What could he have done? He just let Thomas Brown go out there. Thomas Brown wins one game over the rest of the season, comes into this Cowboys game, and we get demolished. Then we come up the next morning and we're like, why didn't you take the play calling away from Thomas Brown? Oh, man, well, I really believe in him and blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, it's not showing up on the field, so what are we going to do? He's still going to have to take the fall for that. So,
1, a little antiquated. 2, very much so predictable. 3, you have wide receivers that can't get open. 4, you have very bad protection.
It's almost like a coach can't solve all of those in the 8 months that Frank's been there, but somehow promoting Thomas Brown to offensive play caller and interim coach is going to solve that. Again, I've already acknowledged that it's bad optics. I've already agreed that he's going to pay with his job. But this notion that it's just, oh man, we just can't, strictly because of his skin color, he needs to be promoted and nobody can touch him. He is untouchable. Untouchable. Because he only got 3 games where he sucked in all 3 of those games. Again, putting up 15, 13, and 13 points. That's not a winning offense, period. I don't care what skin color you are or anything. Frank's gone. So stop turning this into oh, you did this, or little bitchy Reigns talking about it's a dog whistle. Like, fuck out of here, little boy.
It's not like anybody is going to come in this year and call any plays that's going to help the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, so it's almost like the personnel is the reason for all of this, and the coaching staff really can't overcome anything, whether it be Thomas Brown, Evero, or Frank. But yeah, let's just hold the white coach responsible. Makes sense.
Because you need an offseason and some new players to really fix what you got going on. And it really makes Thomas Brown look bad, in my opinion. I got more to say, but I'm going to let.
Hey, that's a valid point. It does make him look bad. You know what also makes him look bad? Putting up 15, 13, and 13. I mean, get better at your job, and you wouldn't have gotten play calling taken away from you. He's earned his spot to get the OC, but he's obviously not proving so far. The personnel, which is all the disqualifying factors that Mr. Leasy decided to put up there, all of a sudden get pushed to the side because we need to promote Thomas Brown. Like, this is a joke.
You take it from right here.
Oh, I'm 100% with you. It's like, hey, Thomas, here's a box of Kraft mac and cheese and some hot dogs, and make a gourmet meal out of this.
Oh, literally the exact same argument. I'm a former chef. Literally the exact same argument I made to everybody. You've given Frank the same personnel that we're giving Thomas Brown. So how is Thomas Brown going to elevate when he's already proven he can't through 3 games, and he hasn't been able to eclipse Frank's scoring except for 1 time? Obviously the opening game against the Falcons where he scored 10. Please, I want to know. Yeah, there's not going to be anybody chiming in on this. 1, because I'm a very small channel. Understand that. Another one is because people don't have an argument. It's just going to be, oh, you're wrong, Mr. Dog Whistle Boy. Like, miss me with this. This tired-ass argument that it's bad that we're giving it to Thomas Brown and giving him the shit end of the stick while ignoring the fact that the front office is the reason why both Frank and Thomas Brown have the shit end of the stick. And blaming the head coach for that is a fucking joke.
You know, like that's what you're asking the guy to do. And this screams, in my opinion, this reeks of absolute desperation from Frank Reich to save his job.
And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Like I've said, he's gone. Couldn't care less. Not defending the coach, just defending a person where the entire fan base has shit on him the entire time, used an argument against him, but then used an argument that same argument to help out somebody else. This is a joke. And the fact that the ESPN is just continuing that is even crazier. I'm going to skip till later in this video, around 6:30, where I had written down.
Have that team, have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So now you look at Perry Fuel, look at the fact that you passed over Eric Bieniemy, looked at the fact that you passed over Steve Wilkes, who, arguably could have had it and should have had the job. And then all of a sudden you do something wild and something that's unheard of in the Carolina Panthers history. You have a black man as your play caller.
Yes. But you know what? You know who's not at fault for this being the first black offensive play caller for the Carolina Panthers? It's not Frank fucking Reich's fault. In fact, he literally came in and made it happen as his OC. So this idea that he's like removing the ability of black coaches to get ahead, he literally gave him the job. So what's your fucking argument now?
He gets you your first win of the season.
But again, this is the straw man argument that people will continue. The RRs, the PCs, the everybody like that, they will sit there and say, "Oh, but he got a win." Again, if the defense could have got 13 points against any other fucking team, we would have had a win minus the Atlanta game. Literally 15, 13, and 13 with him as OC or offensive play caller. I mean, so fuck out of here with this disqualifying bullshit.
He's from this really bad offense.
Mm-hmm.
And after 3 games, you snatch it from him.
You snatched it from him because he hasn't put winning football on the field. I understand. Again, people are going to continue to this 1-win bullshit. If you're happy with that 1 win with this dude, that's fine. And we put up 13 points, 15 points the rest of the year, don't win another goddamn game, I'll be right here saying that Thomas Brown should be fired because now we do have the same amount of games under his belt where he continued to suck. But, whatever. I'm a racist, apparently.
This just doesn't look good, right?
Looks terrible on a lot of different levels.
We know the history of the league in general when it comes down to black head coaches and black offensive coordinators, because a lot of times offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, but mostly offensive coordinators, are going to become head coaches. That
of course, that is the pipeline. That's what he's going to mention. I do agree with that. Yeah, again, I just don't know how leaving Thomas Brown out there with this anemic offense and a defense that's only recently been showing up is the solution.
It is a pipeline to become a head coach. And now you have this black man who has all this promise.
He's not a black man. He's a man. He happens to a man who happens to be black. Yes, all of those things are true. He does not deserve more credit strictly because of his skin color. 3 games in, he's produced 15, 13, and 13 on offense. That is not winning football. That is worse than Frank Reich. You guys can say it's close. You guys can say they're the same, but it's not. You have no factual evidence to back you up. He has not produced on the field, and that is why he is no longer play caller. Frank is going to go down with his hands on the wheel and everything like that, and I agree. But if this doesn't turn around next week, when Frank's gone, for the Tennessee, Tampa, New Orleans, Atlanta stint, we lose to all 4 of those games, everything like that, what's Thomas Brown's excuse now? What's everybody's excuse? Oh, well, we need to give him more time because he's black. Come on.
And you trusted in him to become your offensive coordinator. You trusted in him to start calling plays. But now you're going to snatch it from him 3 games in, and he's the one that got you your win.
He's not the one that got us our win. This is that bullshit. Leezy Fashizi's continuing to peddle this bullshit argument. He's a great play caller, not when he's on the Panthers. Because so far, he is, I understand, has a better record than Frank Reich. But again, if the defense shows up in any of those games, Frank Reich has more wins, period. So, I just don't understand this argument. I don't understand why it's constantly about, oh, well, we can't put down Thomas Brown. We can't do anything. We can't hold Thomas Brown accountable. We can't say that these 3 games he had a subpar offense. We can't do any of that. Because he's a black offensive coordinator? No, he's a fucking offensive coordinator who worked hard and earned his goddamn place. He didn't get breaks. He probably doesn't want to break because of his skin color. He wants to go in there and fucking earn it. So all these people that continue down this path, I mean, it's a tired argument. I don't understand why you guys continue down it. I don't understand why this fan base is so divided, why people literally would just block people rather than have discourse back and forth, while you'll literally cut people down, and then it's little baby energy, and I'll continue to call those people out. If they want to come on and talk to me, they can, but they'll have to unblock me first because, that's what little bitches do. So regardless, I just hope that everyone, we can see measurable changes moving forwards. I am going to release my Thomas Brown breakdown tomorrow, like I said. Again, I really hope that this turns around. I really do. Because he's going to get Steve Wilkes, and hey, man, what happens if we rattle off 4 wins? Do we keep him? Probably. I would hope so. But Thomas Brown so far has not shown me anything. 15, 13, and 13 is not winning football. Period. No team, if I said, hey, man, I'm bringing you in as OC, I'm going to average 14 points a game as the OC play caller, I wouldn't get hired anywhere. So again, I want to know your argument because it's porous at this point. But hey, block me. That's what you're going to do anyways. This is nigga roll coverage.